Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Searle. Thank you. I'm going to be reading some poems that I've written about things I ate for lunch at work. The background to this is that I, a couple of years ago, was working in an industrial estate in Crawley, and it wasn't even a job that warranted being in an industrial estate. I still am a journalist. In those days I was writing for a magazine called The Can Maker, which sounds like a joke. It's not a joke, it's a real magazine, you can Google it. It's www.canmaker.com. It's for the metal packaging manufacturing industry. So I was writing about cans all day, every day, which is drinks cans, food cans, paint cans, aerosol cans. Someone did ask me once, they said, I was like, oh, I write about cans for a living. They were like, oh, what, the film festival? And I was like, yeah, so I worked there. I've been working there for 9 years by the time I left. It was my first job out of university, and it was a very strange place to work in many ways. And there wasn't anywhere to buy lunch in the vicinity because it was a industrial estate. There was a burger van around the corner. That was pretty much it. And I went there once to buy a bottle of water because I'd forgotten to bring any water with me to work, and if you drank the water out of the tap, it tasted like it had lead poisoning. So I bought a bottle of water from the burger van, and when I drank from it I could smell cheese slices. So I didn't ever buy any food from the burger van. I had to bring in my own food from the local Tesco, which was near Three Bridges Station, and make my own lunches in the office kitchen, and the facilities were inadequate. We had a microwave, we had a knife, we had a can opener, obviously, and we had a bowl, which my mate Mark, who worked there, cooked some scrambled egg in a microwave in the bowl and put it in the dishwasher. And when it came out, most of the egg had gone, but there was still a rim of egg about 2/3 of the way up the bowl, which wouldn't ever come off. Like, essentially, if you ever want to make porcelain, if you want to fire your own clay bowl, you just need scrambled egg. It's the same substance as porcelain. And then it broke, someone dropped it on the floor. So it was difficult to make adequate lunches or interesting lunches each day, and I became aware that I was eating pretty much the same thing every day. So I thought and also doing the same thing every day as well, just writing about cans. So I thought to try and differentiate from one day to the next, I would, so that I could look back when I was old and think, hey, I didn't waste my life. I thought I'd write some poems about things I ate for lunch each day. This first poem is I cooked a packet of the vacuum-packed tortellini pasta parcels that you get, which are filled with spinach and ricotta. I cooked that in some water in the microwave, in the eggy bowl. And then I decanted that, and then in the same eggy bowl I cooked some separate auxiliary spinach to make it healthier. This is called Today's Lunch, April the 28th. A dish full of spinach, cooked for 2 minutes. The spinach diminishes, shrinks into miniature, ridiculous shrivelage. My serving is piddling. A packet of pasta, submerged underwater. Moist lumps of matter, growing plumper and fatter, gestating ricotta, they carry on growing to yellowish pillows, no slowing, plateauing, the expansion is staggering, like gigantic anvils, the microwave's knackered, all splintered and shattered, the kitchen off limits, all filled with filled pasta, the floor tiles are plastered with masses of splatter, a grim squidgy mattress, a total disaster. This was about a sandwich. What was interesting about this sandwich was I used salad leaves for the first time. I had to use spinach because I don't like other salad. This is in part a tribute to spinach, but mostly a debunking of salad. It's called Today's Lunch, May the 14th. I've just had a sandwich with salad within it. I've never much cared for salad before. No, not for the fetid, hedge-smelling wet lettuce that folks say is tasteless. I could not agree more. I've stayed unencumbered from humdrum cucumbers like frozen pond water, all phallus and murk, while celery smells like a corpse in a well and tastes like a wheelchair dissolved in the dirt. Tomatoes are red. Red rubbery eggs spilt forth from the jaws of a basilisk's arse. Inside they hold mucus, they ooze birthing fluid, they impregnate my poos with seeds and then laugh. This time I had spinach, and it was delicious, though the cheese and the pickle may have helped it a little. This was also about a sandwich. What was interesting about this sandwich was that rather than using sliced bread, I used a bread roll. And with a bread roll, rather than sliced bread, the centre of gravity of the bread is ever so slightly off. And so when I bit into the bread roll, the filling was forced out of the other side of the sandwich. It was a slice of ham. It just emerged like a cat's tongue. This is called Today's Lunch, May the 1st. I've made a ham sandwich that I cannot eat, not because I'm a Muslim or allergic to meat, and not because I have a face with no mouth. I do have a mouth. Look. I can't eat the sandwich because it's unstable. The ham slices slide, usher chutney to table. The surfeit of Lurpak, removing all friction. The ham falls away in pink valediction. This is was about a Scotch egg I ate. And what was interesting about this Scotch egg was that the pork meat around the egg was infiltrated with chili. It was called, and the official name of the product was an Alf Turner Dragon Egg. I guess like a pig rearer, I imagine. He also makes sausage rolls, so yeah. I mean, I think the dragon egg was hubris. I think it was a chicken's egg. But yeah, it was a standard Scotch egg, but with spicy meat. And so and it occurred to me the connection between Scotch eggs and Scotch bonnet chili peppers. So I wrote a poem. Yeah. Mind's blown. Yeah. So this is about that. Scotch bonnet. Scotch egg. Easter bonnet, Easter egg, car bonnet, car egg. I think this next one is about paella. Can we do a quick bit of audience interaction? Who says, if you say the Spanish rice dish with chorizo and prawns, if you say it, paella, can you please raise one of your hands? If you say it, paella, can you please, because that is the sexier way, can you please stand up and just like gyrate in there? There we go, okay, that's good. It's good to get an idea of how your audience feel politically before you embark on a poem. This was about some paella or paella that I made for my lunch. I made a huge batch and was still eating it 2 days later. It's called Today's Lunch, April the 23rd. Paella, paella, paella. I do not know how I should say ya. You're 2 days old, and if I eat you cold, I'll probably contract salmonella. So this was about a sandwich, and what was interesting about this sandwich, certainly from my point of view, was that it was the first time I'd eaten piccalilli, and so somebody last night said you can never have too much pickle, but with piccalilli that's not true. It's much, well, I'm sure you know, I was naive. I didn't know how mustardy and acrid and vinegary it is. I put too much in my sandwich and it was painful to eat, and so I wrote a poem about it. Two quick points of reference in this poem which you do need to understand to some extent to appreciate the art has anyone seen the film The Rock? And when I say film, I meet someone the other night thought I meant the actor The Rock. And he was like, oh, I've seen The Rock. The film The Rock from 1995, thank you, with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Basically the précis of the film is that some idiot creates a really deadly chemical weapon, which is obviously going to end in disaster. Some urchin nicks a load of the chemical weapon from the chemical weapons depot, and just to make matters worse, the chemical weapon isn't being stored in like steady, stout kegs or something sensible. It's being stored in glass spheres, which are simultaneously breakable and liable to roll. I know. Having worked for a packaging magazine for 9 years. Just put it in a can, crack it open, throw it at someone you don't like, off you go, start a war, fine. They put it in glass spheres, which is idiotic. And in the opening scene of the film, one of the glass spheres, I can't remember why if it starts rolling off a shelf, I guess the shelf is slightly off. And it rolls onto the floor and breaks in a storage room where this chemical weapon is being stored. There were two people in the room at the time. One is just a soldier. He's in the credits as like dead soldier with melty face, and his boss, who escapes out the room, closes the door behind him because I'm like, he thinks I'm not going to stay in the room because the gas is escaping. It's going to melt my face off. The soldier, sadly, is trapped in the room behind the locked door, and his face falls off. I know. Well, we're kind of, it's okay, there will be... So, just to talk a bit more about the film The Rock for a moment. So I saw this film when I was about 14 at Danny Gell's birthday party, and being a 14-year-old male, I think, is the optimum time and gender to have seen this scene where a soldier gets trapped in a room with some poisonous gas and his face falls off, and he's like looking through the window of the door being like, why don't you let me through the door, my face is falling off. Had a profound effect on me, and then we played Mario Kart. One other point as well in this poem that we need to understand before I start is does anyone here make knives for a living? Fine. For reference, if you do ever make a knife, the piece of metal that continues from the blade and then goes inside the handle, that's called a tang. You are clapping your hands like you are a blacksmith. You knew that? That's incredible. I've done this show for 4 nights and nobody has known that so far. That's fair play. What? I knew it too. You knew it too? What's going on? Shut up. I'm Spartacus. I believe 2 of you. I don't believe you. You were a bit late to the party. Well, I mean, if you'll indulge me, I think that deserves a little bit of round of applause for the 2 blacksmiths. All right. Now we know those points of reference, I'll continue. So this is about a sandwich with too much piccalilli. It's called Today's Lunch, July the 18th. I ask you, piccalilli, and place it on my grave, for I pickled my innards with a sandwich that I made. My liver lies in vinegar, preserved with functions failed, in rivers of formaldehyde, destroyed without decay. I am not a severed cow, suspended in the Tate. I am the remnants of a man, the crumbs left on the plate. The soldier in the film The Rock, with Connery and Cage. Hapless, trapped, the glass gets smashed, the gases melt his face. At first a pickle was in me, then our roles were exchanged. I felt the wrong end of the tang, in spirit I remain. My days may now have been and gone, but non, je n'ai vinaigrette rien. Someone to do a raffle. A raffle? Yeah, I mean, there's no prizes per se, but you can determine. There will be a prize. Do you need a microwave? You don't believe in them. There's one literally here that will debate that with you. So yeah, there is a prize, I suppose. You can have a prize if you get it. I don't need it for tomorrow because this is the last night, so you can have it. Please could we welcome to the stage the, I think it's from the future. I found it in a pyramid in Egypt. I think it's cursed. But if we could welcome to the stage the weird alien robot head. No, it looks like it, doesn't it? But it's... I don't know what it's made of. I mean, I presume like iridium or something, because I found it in ancient Egypt. Yeah, would anyone like to pick a ticket from here, and it will correspond to either a poem or a joke, or, if you're lucky, which constitutes the prize this evening, there is a football sticker of Vinnie Jones when he played for Wimbledon in 1996, but I've Pritt-sticked my own face over his face. So somebody will win that. Who wants to... I think you guys should probably... That's very good. That's very community spirited of you. Yeah, but I've been there later last night. I'll just hop in there and quick gag. Just gag. I can grab it. Oh, you are 324. It looks like, rather than a poem, you found a joke. Yeah. Yeah. The joke is, my mate reckons Brian Eno has a secret husband called Howard. But Howard Eno. Do you want the Vinnie Jones ticket? No. Go on. I can't let you sacrifice it. Microwave. I'll have to smash it. I can't. But I wouldn't mind that. You don't want it. You don't want that. It's brought terrible misfortune on my family. 403. Thank you very much. I'm playing the music while I look for it because I didn't order them numerically. Oh my god, it is! That's incredible. I didn't even mean to do that.
What you can't see close up. That's fucking
That was like I accidentally became Darren Brown just for a moment. So a while ago went on Facebook and said to my friends, would anybody like a poem? Name a topic and I'll write a poem about it. My friend Neil, because he's Neil, said, can I have a poem about an albino boner? Which is exactly what you think it is. It's but belonging to an albino person. like a jellyfish? I don't know. I've never seen one, so I don't. This was purely. No, that's right. No, I'm glad you're like buying into the idea of the albino boner. Yeah, and there's numerous long, dangly, stinging testicles below it. Anyway, this is called Neil Vowels. Yeah, he does, yeah. It's the same guy. He asked me for a poem. I mean, you know, please don't discredit his serious political journalism because he asked for this poem. It's another journalistic career down the drain. Neil Vowels. Forced asparagus, an alabaster column, the porcelain dildo in a clockwork orange, the ghost ascending from a walrus cull, a freshly rain-washed chanterelle, my albescent phallus, my boner albino, like a volcano that's covered in snow, my gothic wanger, my pallid prong, now forever remembered in popular song. Shall we just do one more from the cursed head? It is the last night. Would anybody like to rummage around with the sole intention of salvaging the Vinnie Jones with my face sticker? Oh my god, really enthusiastic. Could we pass the head back to the back of the stage, please, so that chap can have a football sticker?
Give him head.
Oh, thank you. I have it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was poorly executed. But I love it. No, you can't. I'm going to put it in my wallet.
Feel free to pass it round so people, if they agree with your slightly scathing criticism of my scissors and Pritt stick job. Should we do one more from the head? That's more like it, thank you. I would describe it as a challenging Dadaist collage that you can stick on your pencil case.
It's like a blue Peter
Gary, would you like a ticket?
It's like
Gary!
an 8-year-old.
Yeah, it's all rigged.
He writes some of his poetry.
266.
Yeah, this is a poem. It doesn't really make any sense. It's about the TV show Lovejoy.
Another bit of Lovejoy.
Which bit?
Don't!
I've not read this out before in public because it doesn't
Don't stop.
Worf?
No.
Do you fancy Worf from Star Trek? Okay.
Story. Carry on.
Okay. I mean, Lovejoy, jacket and jeans. Lunchtime, jacket and beans. Mullet is a hairstyle, mullet is a fish, but jeans aren't beans, therefore fish is hair. Doesn't make sense. Oh, Ian McShay, what I wouldn't do to him.
Were you like using your lunch break?
Yeah, well, hang on, HR. Lunch break is not company time. We are contracted to 1 hour per working day, are we not? Nah. I work for a magazine about overhead cranes now. I've progressed geographically. I work in London now. Yeah? Oh, I know. I'd like to move on now from lunches, if I may, and I'd like to read some erotica, if that's okay. And don't even want to know what is going on in that section of the room. So this is it's not erotic unless you think it is. So it's like a it's like a Rorschach test of poetry. If you listen to it and you think it's erotic, if you become burdened with an erection or whatever women get, then what, sorry? Wide on. Has anyone yet written a... Georgia, in your knowledge, has anyone yet written a musical called Miss Wide On? Because...
I'm glad you understand I know a lot about musicals. No, that's never happened.
Okay, well, that's your next creative project, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, this is some faux erotica. If you become aroused by it, then it does mean, technically, scientifically, you are a horrible pervert. Wait and see what happens to you and get diagnosed accordingly afterwards. This is called 50 Shades of Twem. He unfurled his quilt, shiny with pleth. It was long, it was almost too long. But she wanted to paffle it, feel its warmth on her blarg, for her wink to be running with gomp. He blithed her thalamona hard. She gasped at the pain and the pleasure. He blithed her again, this time with his fetlock, then manfert her chilth with a melon. He cloaked her punge with his dallywabble. Good grief, she uttered, your twinge has underspoked a Winton bunket. She felt her spirit give in. Oh, Graham, she flanged, in awe of his brank, your spint is so murchy and mep. She felt his stout climbing inside her scrimple and hoisted his plum cackle over her head. Ronting much faster, he opened his ganter. She heavily squanted, then sighed. He fluged her obraclout up to the spronk, and his snag-baggle triumphed inside. She and him lay there, covered in schnell. Though who had produced it, neither could tell. That was intense, she gasped with wide eyes. Bluff, judge and plump, corrected flop, he replied. I'm going to do a couple more poems. And then, is anyone feeling hungry for falafel? Is anyone feeling, I mean, we do need someone to be feeling hungry for falafel ideally because... we will be playing the Psychological Warfare Ready Meal Challenge. Someone has a chance to win a ready meal to eat. So if anyone is psyching themselves up to be able to eat a ready meal, get yourself ready. In the interim, this poem is about my face. I was on the train back from London, where I work now, where I write about overhead cranes, and it was dark outside, and I had a little snooze, and then when I woke up, I looked out of the window, and I saw my own face immediately after waking up, and I looked like just like a right sack of old shit, basically. So, this was about that. My phantom is withered, the window's a mirror, glass backed by a mass of blackened blank map, and a London backwater, an unseen afterthought. Benedict Cumberbatch, trapped in a carrier bag. The bag is from Sainsbury's. He strains to escape it. The orange skin bulges like he's stuck in a kumquat. A weary-eyed Tintin, sour-mouthed and squinting, no longer a sleuth, but a cashier in boots. An old Simon Pegg, or LaRue when she's dead. This is called Trousers. That woman's got no trousers on. That woman's got no trousers on. Oh. Look. What? Look. That woman's got no trousers on. Well, if she's doing it, then I'm doing it too. I only wear trousers because it's what people do. I'm not standing here like some trousered fool. Remove shoes, then trousers, then replaces shoes. My outfit's cool. My legs are cool. My Batman logo pants are cool. I am on Vogue. I'm a la mode. I've left my trousers in the road. That woman's got pink trousers on. That woman's got pink trousers on. What? Look. What? Look. That woman's got pink trousers on. Oh. I thought she didn't have trousers on. And when I look back, my trousers had gone. Please could someone come on stage and try and win a ready meal? Please, anyone? I mean, you don't even have to be that hungry. It's not huge. It's falafel. That's fine. Colin, you are permanently hungry. Thank you, mate. Thank you. It's okay. Just to warn you, there's no meat in it. Is that a deal breaker? Okay, if you'd like to sit here, and I'll tell you the rules of this Psychological Warfare Ready Meal Challenge. Essentially it's this. First rule, I'm not insured, so don't accidentally paralyse yourself by falling backwards off a stool. Second rule, you have to be not demoralised, saddened, intimidated, or in any other way psychologically broken in the next, I think, 3 minutes, but I will just check the cooking instructions. Oh, mate. 4 minutes. Yeah, this just went up a notch. Hang on. Remove sleeve, pierce film lid several times. Place container. Okay, cool. So, during the course of this 4 minutes, I will be reading demoralising messages to you, at you. That will be going on. If anyone in the audience would like to hum ominously like a hornet in a jar, you're very welcome to join in.
It should be a reduced section. Can I just add that?
That's not a person.
I'm already demoralised.
I've done this for 4 nights running. I can't spend like £6 a night on a Marks and Spencer's finest. I'm going to pierce it for you at least.
What's in it?
So falafel, sweet potato, and kale, and a harissa dressing.
We're definitely in Brighton, aren't we?
We want the egg frosting bowl. Sweet potato. She's actually cooking it once inside, so I'm
Look, it's been zapped.
It is. That's what they do.
Colin, when you're ready to take the Psychological Warfare Ready More Challenge, please press start on the microwave.
This might take some time. Hang on.
Yeah? Is it whirling?
Yes. There's no life in it's whirling.
The regional weather forecast map shows a photo of your face in the area where you live, surrounded by a red triangle. The presenter makes no reference to it. The elastic tension in your leotard finally wins its battle with your body, taking your bum clean off and catapulting it into the face of a passerby. As a young child, you climbed onto the kitchen side, opened the medicine cabinet, and ate several years' worth of Botox. Now, aged 45, you have the body of an adult, but still have the same face as when you were 3. The first 7 cards drawn by the tarot reader are all inexplicably totally blank. A look of grave concern falls over her face. The 8th card is lain down, again totally blank, but with this time with one detail in the centre, the word "Durbrain." The reader's expression turns to relief. "Ah, of course," she says, "you're a Durbrain." Time has not been kind to you. You look like a celeriac. A seal with a head at both ends of its body, reciting a list of your fears in a low growl. A cardboard cup filled with brown steam. "It's the latest thing. £4, please." At a party, and everyone is exchanging jokes. You are keen to be involved but can't remember any good jokes. So instead you just stand up and do an enthusiastic impression of a jellyfish, complete with wibbler wobbler sound effects. Everyone is startled rather than amused. "What flavour is blue flavour?" you ask with an intrigued smile. Before taking a sip, "It's poo flavour." While reading an erotic novel on the train, you begin loudly and uncontrollably orgasming. Everyone stares at you, aghast. "I can't help it," you begin to say before orgasming everywhere again. The hotel has run out of small chocolates to place on their guests' pillows. By way of a substitute, a whole trifle has been emptied on your bed. becoming excited that you know the answer to one of the questions on University Challenge. You shout out the answer. After a few moments of silence, you look tentatively around the room, realising that there is no one else there.
Yeah.
How long we got left, by the way? What's it saying on the display? 1 minute.
47 seconds.
You reckon you can take it?
Keep going, it's alright.
There's bird poo on the slide. It's a new one by the look of it. That'll go everywhere. Best check out the swings. But what's that on the seat? A human face? That's no better. You tackle the icy pavements by strapping a frying pan to each foot. It spreads the body weight more evenly, you exclaim, before sliding uncontrollably down a hill and off a motorway bridge. One of your colleagues brings their baby into the office. When it's your turn to issue compliments, you can't think of the right word to use and accidentally describe the child as boorish. You thought there was another step at the top of the stairs, but there wasn't. Are we done?
We're done.
We're done! Colin has won a ready meal.
I could actually smell the falafel cooking. In case you thought I was really...
There is no more sinister smell than falafel.
Am I allowed to open up?
Emotionally, after your trauma.
Tell us all about it.
I think you already have, dear, but yes.
I've got your tea towel as well.
Oh, thank you. Spencer's killing me. Right.
There you go.
Thank you.
There's a 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colin, who will now eat some falafel on stage while they finish the set. We're getting close to closing time, so I mean, no pressure. Don't scold yourself. We've got about 10 minutes left to.
Leave for 3 minutes, right?
I'll just do a couple more poems. So this is about predictive text, which is a function you get on modern phones. And what it does is, if you write a word in a message and it's not quite right, it corrects it to the word that you think you mean. It thinks you mean. I don't know if anyone has predictive text. So this is a poem about someone trying to write a message in predictive text, and the predictive text misunderstanding it. For reference, if there's any poetry fans in, this is in the style of a traditional sonnet, so it's 3 verses of 4 lines each, followed by a couplet, and it's all in iambic pentameter. I know, yeah. In 2002, I went to York University and studied English literature, where I learnt about these things. And it's now 2017, and I'm still paying off my student loan. But it's yeah, it's moments like this that make it seem like a worthwhile investment. So. How's the falafel, by the way? Oh, really? I thought it looked quite nice. I mean, carry on.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever been heckled by a group of people really ushering you on to eat a ready meal before? No.
First time for me.
Down it.
What? Down at you, Zulu warrior, did you say?
You heard that as well.
Cheap.
She's on her way, it's alright.
Literally no. Was this from the film Zulu with Michael Caine? Was it from the original soundtrack to Zulu? I don't know this song. Oh, I'm so sorry to do this by test, but there's suck a log that I wanked to soap, and I wanked to make surf. You got to hell. All of tits massage, so I can explode. I sweat. I do car for you, very murk. In face, I still lube you, hence this whole rim. But I feel love our like has ruined its curse. We're fronds, not clovers. We can't turn back Tim. I trolley hop, but you can underpants. And please, don't be too hard on hyphenated me. I bog. I wasp always hornets. I wash you the bats. And Pope you may wank to see me agog. I hope this brings comfort in its own way. There's not one moment I regurgitate. Thank you. Might have time to squeeze two in, purely because otherwise Colin will get indigestion. Jesus Christ.
You say that to me, right, okay.
How was your show, Dan? Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the last 5 minutes was just some members of the audience shouting, "Eat it!" at Colin. So, apart from that, I think that's a compliment.
Start getting ready with routines.
Right. I think I can fit two in, so to speak. We've got one about Southern Rail, who I love. We've got one about Flying Ant Day, the day when the flying ants come out. We've got one about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Me, and how much I hate it. And we've got one about the poor fools who voted for Brexit thinking it would make their lives better, which is possibly slightly controversial, although probably not in Brighton. I'm guessing.
Brexit!
Oh dear. All right. Sorry. That's right. No, that's all right. I just misunderstood your wild ejaculation. That was all. Yeah, when you shouted Brexit, I thought you were just really like, yeah, hashtag Brexit. Let's take back control. Okay, well this is about Brexit then in that case. What's it? The strong and stable. Is it soft and hard? Theresa May, Conservative Future. Strong and hard. I mean, I might even vote for if that was a catchphrase. Bloody hell. Thank you. That was the joke. Okay, so this is a quick one about the people who voted for Brexit. I think, in fairness, there was a lot of misinformation spread about Brexit before the vote, so I kind of feel sorry a bit for people who voted for it, not fully understanding the implications of what they were voting for, particularly because in the mass media there's obviously a lot of articles about exactly, the EU idiots, oh we have straight bananas now or whatever. They're the reason the country is failing, not because of the people running it, obviously it's outside influences, it's like the 10,000 migrants we get a year, and it's the EU, and yeah. And I was thinking about like 10 years down the line from now when Brexit has happened, because it's going to happen, and I thought, well, if things don't get better in the country after we've left the EU, then who are we going to blame next, basically, because the government isn't going to take responsibility, because that's the remit of politicians, is to kind of screw things up and then blame someone else. So who are they going to blame next is the question. This is slightly political. If you do feel uncomfortable at any point, then please just take a look at Colin eating his way through 2.3 kilograms of chickpeas, raw kale, I think, or like slightly steamed kale.
Is it British really now?
Well, I think it's Moroccan themed, certainly. It might be made in Britain. And also, take a sympathetic glance back to his wife, Kirsty, who's at the back of the room, and we'll be sleeping in the same bed as him tonight as he farts for 6 out of 8 hours, I imagine. This is called Apologies to Niemöller. First, they came for the Europeans, and I did not speak out, because it was going to improve job opportunities for British people. This did not happen. My career continued to be largely underwhelming. My manager still talks down to me, even though he's younger than me. But thankfully, then they came for the experts. Defunded scientific research, and I did not speak out, because we'd all had enough of the experts. Nothing much changed. I continued to not understand things. But thankfully, following the purge of scientists, then they came for the disabled, and I did not speak out, because they're all scroungers. I've not actually met any of them, but they're all scroungers. My life did not improve after all the disabled people were killed. My ex-wife did not come back. She continued to date that tall guy who likes the sitcom Frasier. But thankfully, then they came for the single mothers and the abortion clinics at the same time. I can't remember what the reasoning was behind it, but I did not speak out because I was involved in a long and exasperating exchange of correspondence between the local council and I regarding a totally unjustified parking ticket. Then they came for the terrorists, and I did not speak out, because those people attack our freedom. Turns out the leader of the opposition blew up an ice rink. They found his passport next to the remains of the mulled wine kiosk. Then they came for the gay people, and I did not speak out, because I only like the famous ones, and they'll all be fine anyway. Then they came for the foxes, and I did not speak out, because there was a fox in the same room as a baby once. I saw it on the news. They got rid of them in a theatrical and quite inefficient way, but nevertheless they did eventually wipe all the foxes out. Following the slaughter, I met my son for a meal for his birthday. Neither of us had much to say. We just talked a bit about the endless parades of people on horseback, marching through the streets, waving dead foxes around. Then they came for the jazz musicians called Peter Baxendale, and I did not speak out, because those were the people responsible for the underfunding and subsequent collapse of the NHS. All the papers said so. I was glad the culprits had been brought to justice, although even after the genociding of all the jazz musicians called Peter Baxendale, I still couldn't afford treatment for my gout. My face is riddled with gout. I got gout after eating food I bought at a local shop. Everyone across the country was suffering health problems because of the products sold by reckless independent businesses. That's why the authorities handed them all over to the proper chains. Then they killed the homeless, the unemployed, the deaf, the blind, and anyone a bit black. And I did not speak out, because the tree in my neighbour's garden has been shedding leaves all over my bloody lawn. And now the Wi-Fi's stopped. And then they came for me, because there was no one else left to blame, and they assured me that it definitely wasn't their fault. My ex-wife and the guy who likes the sitcom Frasier are in the same Labour camp that I am, and it's all their bloody fault that we're in this mess. Thank you. Right, housekeeping. Could we pass the alien robot head to the back of the room, like near the door? If you... Who got the Vinnie Jones sticker, by the way? It was the guy at the back, wasn't it? Excellent.
Yeah.
If you want to put some pound coins in there to help me pay for having indulged in this vanity project, you're very welcome to. If you want to not put pound coins in there to teach me a lesson, that's also fine. I've got some poetry booklets at the stage, so if you want a poetry booklet, please come and see me and say hello. I'll just do a very quick flash of one. Knackered, I know, yeah. It's got vegetables in it. So if anybody would like one there, a fiver, you're very welcome to have one. Come and say hello. Can we pass the head? We pass the head to the back of the room, thank you. And thank you all very much for coming, by the way. Yeah, I'm not finished yet. Hey, Colin, have you... Mate, you got one poem to go. Do you remember Bruce Bogtrotter from the film Matilda, where he has to eat an entire chocolate cake on stage in front of... Yeah. Yeah. Falafel. Oh dear. To be honest, I used to say it, falafel, and like genuinely, because I'm from Sheffield, and one of my friends thought I was joking. I'll leave you with this. Thanks again for coming. Thank you very much for staying and listening. And this is about being stuck on a train home from London when it was at the summertime. It's very hot. It was 8 carriages instead of 12, which if you commute, you'll understand why that is a problem. We got stuck. Loads of people standing up, holding onto the railings. I was stuck between several people holding onto the railings. This poem is about that. Quick glossarial point. It contains the word borborygmus, which is the scientific term for a Tommy gurgle. Yeah, borborygmus. And also, trigger warning, it does contain mild Nazi Germany references early on. What? I think that's still not okay to say. I mean... Wow. It's my first Nazi I've ever had at a gig, so that's cool. Just the occasional Zeke Howell just pops out. It's just Nazi Tourette's. That's right. We all have our struggles. So, this is called Revolting. Thank you very much. Everyone's arms are in the air, like a recreation of Nuremberg Square, or worse, a festival where Coldplay headlined. The arms holding iPads and soaking up vibes. The arm to my right is more hair than skin, like the owner had dropped it down the back of the fridge and only retrieved it after several weeks, covered in debris and rogue frozen peas. The arm to my left has a scrotum attached, instead of an elbow, a sad, sagging sack, like a faceless beige tortoise, all features erased, hung like a manatee's personal space. A Danish pastry crushed by grandmother's arse, or Sir Alan Sugar's time-buggered visage. The arm scrotum hovers right next to my eyes. I imagine it gurning and saying, "You're fired." Before my eyes drift and alight on the line of armpits marked out by circles of brine, giving off heat like a horse's behind, giving off smells like a horse's behind, attracting flies like a horse's behind, erotically moist like a... We're being held in a queue outside Croydon. Tears and sweat and blood are all boiling. The aircon is gone. The windows do nothing. The carriage walls echo with impotent tutting. The lighter click which lit the wick just started with a borborygmus. For the moment when the rioting started was the exact same moment that commuter farted. An ill wind broke free, revolution broke out. As someone once said, let them eat sprouts. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Colin, who's too full. Thank you.